Singapore is one of the fastest aging countries in the world, with the number of seniors expected to reach close to 25% of the population by 2030. And experts say the prevalence of dementia may climb as people live longer. To tackle this, $2.6 million has been pumped into a new post-diagnostic support program by the Lien Foundation and Alzheimer's Disease Association. It's aimed at equipping those living with dementia and their caregivers with more information and support to cope with the condition. Now, for more insight into this, we're joined by Associate Professor Philip Yap, lead clinician for the Memory and Dementia Care Service at Khoo Teck Puat Hospital, and Richard Ashworth, who's a caregiver for his 87-year-old adoptive father who's suffering from Alzheimer's. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. Dr. Yap, I'll come to you first. Now, we understand that the program was trialled with a handful of newly diagnosed patients from Khoo Teck Puat Hospital in June last year. But why did the hospital decide to participate, and what do you think is the key gap that existing support systems just don't cover?
Well, the post-diagnostic service helps to better meet the needs of people with dementia and their caregivers in a way that's over and beyond what's provided by existing services. We have found that caregivers actually need to access information in a timely and tailored manner. So very often, information is provided in a generic manner. So what post-diagnostic support can do is to be able to better understand the unique profiles of the people with dementia and their caregivers and tailor information that's really customized to their unique situation. So this is what I think is unique about the PDS service. Yeah.
Dr. Yap, what then was the difference that this program made for the patients and their caregivers who actually went through this?
One advantage of the PDS is that they have a case manager who usually would make initial contact and make a home visit to better understand the living situation of the person with dementia and his caregiver. And seeing is always believing and understanding, looking at the living situation, and sometimes being able to see how the person with dementia moves around at home, how he spends his time, and maybe also being able to see some of the behaviors that he exhibits can give a deeper understanding about the existing circumstances at home. And it also affords time for them to sit down and in the comfort of the home of the caregiver and the person with dementia to discuss about the situation and hear them out, and then be able to customize information that is that better attends to their specific needs. So I think the ability to visit the patient is important. The ability to spend extra time is important. And also the ability to provide ongoing and continuous support that attends to even their ad hoc needs is also very important. And this case manager, it's also that point person that links the person with dementia and the caregiver back to the hospital services, the hospital that made the diagnosis. And if there's important information, the caregiver can always access this person. And this person acts like a linchpin that is so important to link the person with dementia and the caregiver back to the hospital services, so that if ad hoc problems happen, the hospital can be apprised and can also respond to it in a timely manner.
Okay, well, let's get the perspective of a caregiver right now. Richard, how did you first realize that your father could be suffering from Alzheimer's?
Again, I'm not so sure. In the beginning, in 2011, my father's behavior become different way of behavior when he was in a normal life before he suffered from dementia. And then he starts arguing with me and screaming and shouting. And that's really a part of life. I was so confused. I do not know how to help him. And I don't know where to go and source or anything about dementia issue at all.
So, Richard, what was the most challenging thing for you at that point when he was diagnosed?
my challenging point is, how to help him, how to calm him down, how to actually go and source for any resources that can help me to manage to taking care of my father. And in those days, in 2011, there's not many resources that I can easily look for it. But I was very lucky that, I have a neighbor who was very kind. She think that, my father is suffering from dementia, right? And then we sent him for checking up and things like that. And eventually, she managed to actually call up to ADA to actually help me. And actually ADA actually also came to my house with all the help they can offer to me. And one of the things that, ADA was really taking all the trouble, taking care of me, my well-being, because I actually have a few attempts of committing suicide itself. But ADA actually helped me so much to taking care of me, of my well-being.
Thank you very much for sharing your story with us. Dr. Yap, are your patients also facing the same challenges that we just heard there from Richard as well? And what do you think can be improved on this front?
Well, people with dementia go through different phases and stages, so do their caregivers. And yes, at some point in time, they will run into difficulties. And the ability then to respond to them in a timely manner to these ad hoc problems is very, very important. Because what happens in the hospital system is that we see them by appointments. So they may be all right when they come and see us in the clinic, but in the next appointment may be 4 months down the road. But 1 month later, when they run into problems, we must be able to attend to these issues, these new problems in a timely manner. So the PDS has a unique place in this, in that the care manager, this important point person, can attend to these needs promptly. So he is just a phone call or an SMS or a message away, and he will be able to then listen to their problem, understand, maybe even make a visit, and provide some advice and help. And also help to inform us in the hospital of what's going on so that we can respond appropriately. I think this is key, to be able to respond in a continuous manner, to handhold them so that when they run into problems, they can access the necessary help and services promptly.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for speaking to us with your guidance on this very important topic. And Richard, thank you for speaking to us from the heart. We've been speaking there to Associate Professor Philip Yap from Khoo Teck Puat Hospital and caregiver Richard Ashworth.